Hello everyone, this is Tamara and I'm here with the University of California, Davis for our Friday mobility class. Today we're going to work on our shoulder mobility. The shoulder joint is one of the most mobile, if not the most mobile joint in our body. It can go in every single plane of motion, of rotation, of spiraling. Shoulders are amazing. So they should move in every direction, and they should move in a way that's safe, that is contained within the joint and is not going to pull out of its sockets. So today we're going to challenge that full range of motion in a safe way. So we'll need a few things for today's class. One of them is a ball. I actually have a doggy ball with me today. It's actually quite perfect because it has a little squish to it. It has a little give. And we will also need, if you don't have a doggy ball, options are a lacrosse ball or a tennis ball. Anything that's about the size of your fist should be fine, and that is firm. We don't want anything too soft because then we're not doing anything. Second element will be either an elastic band. If you have one of these big elastic bands, this is ideal. So it has a little bit of give, not too much and not too soft, a little bit firm. So I'm going to use this one double. If you don't have an elastic band, don't worry, you can use just a scarf. It's not going to give, but it'll give you the movement and pliability that we'll use too. And the last thing is a stick, a broomstick. This is a PVC pipe. It's kind of weird. It was used for a painting project. It's just a tube. So a broomstick works. Anything that is about as long as your arm width. Okay. So go gather your things and clear out a space in your room or in your house. Move all the furniture to a side and roll out your yoga mat or an exercise mat. Or if you are on carpet, you can just put down a towel or a blanket. All right, and let's get started. So let's come up to standing. And we'll start with some movement to warm up the shoulder. Up a little bit. Is that too twisted? Okay. All right. So standing, you can take your feet wide to create a stable foundation. And we're just going to swing our arms open and close. Starting very gentle, very soft, without forcing ourselves too much. Just warming up the joint. Our shoulders can get very tight, very tired, especially if you're doing a lot of desk work. There's a lot of tightness that's generated right here in the front of the chest. So our next movement, you are going to make fists with your hands. And we'll swing our arms around, and as you complete the rotation, with your fist, tap right here in this area between the chest and the shoulder. There's a little divot right there. We're going to tap that area nice and firm. Don't be shy about it. The other hand taps right below your shoulder blade. And look all the way behind you. slow it down. Coming back to center. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, float them down. Repeat twice more. Inhale, reach the arms up. Take your left wrist and pull it over to the right. Big, big, big stretch. And inhale to come back up. And reach the arms up. Let's go to the other side. Pull. And back up. Repeat twice more to each side. Really pulling that arm out and over. And release. All right, now simple shoulder circles, taking the shoulders back and down. All right, and now take either your elastic band or a scarf or a towel and hold it behind you, thumbs pointing out, thumbs out, keeping your feet wide. Take a deep breath, open the chest, and lift the arms away from your body. Keep your belly in and the ribs down. So instead of flaring the ribs forward, keep the ribs in. And focus the action on the actual shoulders and chest, opening. Deep breath. And on your exhale, bend your knees, hinge the hips back, fold forward, release your head. Keep extending the arms up overhead. Lift the shoulders away from your ears. And gently move your head a little bit, side to side, no, yes. Giving your neck a moment to release. It's okay to keep the knees bent as much as you need to. And keeping the knees bent, slowly roll yourself back up to standing and release the arms. Let's keep that rubber band nearby. All right, and let's take the arms out and turning the palms up and down, up, down, up, down. It might seem pretty simple, but you'll feel it pretty soon. Rotating up and down. Keep opening the fingers and reaching the arms out actively. All right, now bring the arms forward and same motion. Rotating in and out. The arms are about shoulder height. Try to find full rotation here. I'm counting about 10 of those. And now reaching up, same motion, turning the palms in and out, in and out. I'm sure you're feeling it by now. My shoulders are burning. Count about 10. Oh yeah. And release. Shake it up. Just let your arms swing side to side. All right. Okay. Let's go with our rubber band or scarf if you don't have an elastic band, a belt, anything that is long enough. Okay, we're gonna hold it wide. Let's go ahead and take your feet wide, wider than the shoulders. And the arms also pretty wide. And rotate all the way behind you and back to the front. So if it's difficult to take the arms all the way back, then hold it a little bit wider. So you get to adjust the length of the band or the strap to your appropriate level of mobility for today. And we're counting about 10 of these motions. It's really nice to have the elasticity of this band because it gives me, I can really feel my muscles engaging into the resistance. And it also doesn't lock me out. So it gives me a little bit more space to complete the motion, especially back here where we're most tight. All right, and now come a little bit more narrow. So making that strap a little bit shorter. And repeating. And you might find that just 1 inch shorter is enough to challenge your range of motion. Go very slow, giving your body time to adjust. And if you feel like you still have more space, come 1 inch or 2 more narrow. Oh yeah, it's going to be quite different now. And because I have an elastic band, I have a little bit more wiggle room, but I still feel it. Can narrow it a tiny bit more. Oh yeah. And I'm counting about 10 reps on each of the settings. If you feel any sharp pinching sensation or any kind of nervy sensation, then you're taking yourself too far. And you need to widen your strap. So don't take yourself to a place of pain. That's not where we want to be. Pain is a signal to let us know that we've gone too far. So let's listen to that signal. Last one. And let's fold forward again, keeping your legs wide, bend the knees, hinge the hips back. And fold and release the head, and maybe your shoulders can turn all the way down and then up again. And try this a few times. Release your neck. Let the neck be relaxed. Drop your head. Whew. All right. Now staying in this forward fold. Let's hold the strap down with your right hand. And with your left hand, open up to the side and back down. Adjust the strap to a place where you feel the resistance of the band, but it gives you enough space to open up. And I'm going to choose to point my thumb up to open up more the shoulder. And we want to feel it in the back, in our shoulder blades. So bring your shoulder blade in and then open the arm, keeping the shoulder blade plugged in to your back. So instead of it being out here, bring it in, engaged, and open. And I'm counting about 10 of these reps. The hand that's on the floor is pushing firmly into the floor to press up. Now if you can't reach the floor, your hand can be on a yoga block. You can also bend your knees. You don't want to torture your spine or your hamstrings here. Make sure that your spine is extended. And let's change to the other side. And I'm going to turn around so I'm still facing you. Left hand down and right hand holding the strap, thumb up. We're going for 10 reps, really engaging the shoulder blade, plugging it in to your back. Open wide. Remember, you can bend your knees, or the left hand, the one on the floor, can be up on a block or a book if you cannot reach the floor. All right, release that, release the strap, and just let your head hang here for a moment. And slowly roll up to standing. All right, we can leave that to a side for now. And let's go now to use the stick. All right, so it's actually going to be very similar to what we just did, but now we're going to allow a little bit more passive stretch. So we'll take a wide stance, as we were before. Now, very important that this stick is not going to slide. So I have a yoga mat, which is ideal. It's sticky, it won't slide, and I won't lose it. If I was on a slidey floor, like this floor, this would be pretty unstable. We don't want that. So if you are on a slippy floor, please find a yoga mat, something that's not going to slide, or come to the carpet. Putting the stick on the carpet works really well. Okay, wide stance, bend the knees, hinge the hips back, holding the stick with both hands. And now reach the hips back, lift the belly, and lift the lower ribs. So we don't want this, we don't want the front of the body to just sag. We want to engage the front. Keep that engagement in the front as you reach the hips back and lean away. So the stick is an anchor, and it's creating an anchor point so you can lengthen your spine here. All right, hold the stick with one hand, and with the other one, reach down and maybe towards the opposite ankle. Or it can come to the floor, or the shin, or the knee. You can release the head. One more big breath. Exhale, come back up. Once more. Lengthen, create the space, ribs in, belly in. Take a deep breath. And the other hand comes down and reach for the opposite ankle or the shin or the knee if you're up here. You don't have to be all the way down here, but you can explore. How does that feel in your shoulder? Remember, we don't want to be in a place of pain, so if there's any intense pinchiness in the shoulder, come a little bit higher. So if this hand can come just to the knee. So you have a nice twist and stretch here. One more big breath. And come up. All right. Very good. All right. And still wide stance. Nice and firm on the ground. And we'll take the stick out to our side. So this will be like a triangle pose, but holding on to the stick to get nice lengthening and opening in our shoulders. So let's take the stick to the right and turn your right toes to the right. My toes are pointing towards the stick. And now I have the stick right in front of my foot, but for some of us it might be a little bit closer, a little bit more out, depending on your range of motion. Go ahead and inhale, reach the left arm up and over and lean over to the right. Holding the stick on the top with both hands. Let's take a few breaths here. And slowly slide the lower hand, the right hand, down to the base of the stick. Open the ribs. Extend through both sides of the waist. Enjoy. And inhale, come back up, open up, and now change your feet. So right toes face forward, left toes to the left, and take the stick to your left. Inhale, reach up and over, hold with both hands on the top of the stick, lengthen, lengthen. Deep breath. And then lower the left hand down towards the bottom of the stick. Keep your balance. Whew, I'm losing it. And enjoy. Big stretch here. Deep breath. And come up. All right. And let's leave the stick to a side. And we'll come back to our rubber band. And for these next exercises, we're going to come down to the floor. So you can come down to the floor, sit down. I have a cushion. This is going to make it much more comfortable. All right. Let's see. That looks good. Okay. So coming down to the floor, you can straddle the cushion to sit down. All right. Just make sure that your knees, your ankles, your toes are comfortable here. I'm going to lift a little bit more. Okay. All right. take our elastic band or strap, whatever you have handy. Take my hair out of the way. Okay. All right. So first, let's start with the right arm up. Bend the elbow and reach towards your opposite shoulder blade. Take your head back and press it back into your arm. With the left hand, take that right elbow and encourage it to go further back. And then instead of letting your ribs come forward, plug them in and down, belly in. And as we engage the front of our body, we encourage the shoulder to open up. So we're not compensating by arching our spine, but we're keeping the stretch right where we want it today, which is this shoulder. All right, a few more deep breaths here, bringing those ribs down. And release. Let's go to the other side, left arm up, bend the elbow, and aim for the opposite shoulder blade. Take the elbow back, press your head back into the arm, so you're not reaching the head forward, but it's actually pressing gently back. And ribs in, belly in, feeling the stretch right in the side and the front of the shoulder. You're going to feel it a little bit in your armpit and around the tricep and around the shoulder blade. Couple more deep breaths here. And release. Ooh. Believe it or not, I'm getting a cramp in my toes. All right, we're gonna go back to the first arm. And this time, so we're gonna, right arm, we're gonna hold the strap or the towel, whatever you have. You're gonna hold it in your right hand and take the arm behind you. With the left hand, encourage the elbow to go back and bring the ribs down, belly in. And now wrap the left arm behind you and reach for the strap. Now some of you might be able to clasp your fingertips. So reaching with one hand, reaching the fingers. You can reach like I'm reaching here, go for it. Otherwise, you can hold onto your strap, your towel, whatever you have available. Big breath. And release. And let's go to the other side. Left arm up, and the elbow. Help to get the arm in position. Ribs in, belly in, and then wrap the other arm around. And you might notice that one side is tighter than the other. It's normal. So it's good to have the strap in case you need it on the other side. So this is what it looks like behind. I'm really pressing my head back. Belly in, ribs in, and slowly release. All right, it's feeling pretty good. Now, if you have the elastic band, you'll follow the next exercise. If you do not have the elastic band, you'll just hold statically what we just did. So you repeat the same one. So for those of you who have the elastic band, we'll come back to that arm position, wrap behind, hold on to the elastic band, and we're going to extend the top arm. And that's going to encourage the back hand to come a little bit higher. And let's go for about 10 of these reps. And release. Let's go to the other side. All right, really good. Really good movement for our shoulder and very good engagement. All right, now let's move on to our pec muscles. Okay. So for this one, it's if you have a yoga block, it really helps, or a book, a thick book. Something that gives you a little bit of height. So I'm actually going to use my speaker. So something firm that you can press onto, and we're going to come to lay face down. If you want to open up a blanket, actually, I want to open up a blanket. I'm going to get one. So you're comfortable on the floor. All right. So this is what we'll do. We'll create a little high surface so that we can bring the ball, we're going to bring this ball to this area of the chest. So just between the shoulder and the chest, just below the collarbone in this area. It's a little bit tender, so don't be surprised. We're going to lay down and bring the ball to that area and just let your weight sink in here. If you're not feeling much, then just adjust, get right over it so that your body weight is doing the work here. And once you find a good spot, take deep breaths. And notice how I'm giving my head support. I have my forehead on my wrist here. Zadji. Breaths. Maybe find a different spot. Maybe closer to the center, to your sternum. And the deep breaths actually help to create a little bit of pressure and massage yourself. So the breath and gravity are the therapist here. Feel free to find different spots and breathe again. All right, now we'll add a little bit of movement here. Waving the arm up and down. And this might feel quite tender. Just go slow. Right. Remove your props. Keep the left arm extended straight out to the left. Look to the right, bend the right elbow, bend the right leg and open up the hips. And stretch the front of the left shoulder. So with your right hand, this one, I'm pushing into the floor to try to open my chest up towards the ceiling and feel a nice deep stretch in the front of my left shoulder. Bring it back. Whew. Take a moment to breathe, a little break here. And we'll go to the other side. I'm going to turn around so that you can see me on this side. Okay. All right, so same. Using an element to create more lift so that this ball can really massage this area of the front of the chest. Get creative. Find whatever you have at home to use for this purpose. So just breathing, letting gravity do the work. Finding different spots. You might be surprised to find some very tender spots there. Taking those deep breaths to create more tension, more pressure on the spot that we're targeting. Get creative with your elements here. Sometimes it'll slide out. Whew. Deep breaths. Now, find a pretty good spot there, and then slowly waving the arm up and down. Whew. It's quite intense. So guess what? This same exact thing we're doing in the front, we're going to do it in the back, around the shoulder blade. All right, take the props out. Keep the right arm extended out to the right. Look to the left, bend the left elbow, push into the floor, and take the left leg back. So you're opening the hip and creating that nice stretch in the front of the right shoulder. Slowly come back, and we'll go now to our back. So we'll use the ball on our backs. All right. This is my favorite. So we're targeting the area between the shoulder blade and the spine. So this area of muscle. And of course our ribs are there as well, but we want to be in that space. We're looking for that space that can get really tight and painful. All right, so this is what I like to do. I like to leave this arm very passive, so I just let it drape over, and with the other hand I'm kind of holding this arm to hold it steady. Now there's a few things you can do here. If you are very sensitive, you can just rock a little bit here, side to side, so that you're gently increasing the pressure, your body weight onto the ball, and inch the ball up and down the shoulder blade. So this is a gentle approach. If you want to feel a little bit more intensity, what you do is you lift your hips. And that is going to direct more body weight towards the top of our body, to the shoulders, and of course to the ball. And here, you can find a rocking motion so that you roll on the ball. Whew. And I'm sure you'll find some pretty juicy things in there. Now I'm coming a little bit higher to get the ball into the top of my traps. Here you go. The ball is right here on the top of my traps. Oh, you can get pretty creative. So I like to show these myofascial releases. That's what this is called. But I encourage you to have your own exploration. And if you find a spot that's really juicy, that feels like it needs a little bit more time, a little bit more pressure, by all means, stay there. And give your body what it's calling for. Oh, this doggy ball is actually working really well for me. I'm impressed. Here I'm rocking and rolling on the edge of the shoulder blade. Oh, feels great. Oh, all right. So now that you've explored, find a pretty good spot. Find your favorite spot, the juicy spot. And now we'll take the arm out and gentle, slow movements, feeling, breathing. Feel free to adjust. And also up and down. I somehow feel it right here in the front. It's very interesting. Giving myself some self-massage where I feel it referring. All right, it feels great. Oh my gosh. Another thing you can do is interlace your fingers behind your head and rock a little bit here as well. Up and down, side to side, exploring, bringing the ball to different spots and enjoying that. All right, let's go to the other side. Remember, you can just sway your knees side to side to bring a little bit more pressure to that side. You can always start slow and increase the intensity gradually. You don't want to overdo it. Increase the intensity, lift the hips, and rocking Support your head if you feel tension in the neck. You do not want to feel tension in the neck. Do whatever you need to avoid that. So supporting the head is a good way. Ooh. If you find a good spot, a juicy spot, you can hold it for a few breaths or slow it down. All right. Oh, I can stay here for a long time. I really love rolling on the ball. Top of the traps. Woo! It's a good one. Quite intense. Okay, now finding our juicy spot and waving the arm. Up and down. If you notice, I keep wiggling because I keep adjusting and finding different spots, different sensations, and different stretching sensations. Whew. All right, doggy ball was the bomb. It feels quite amazing. I bet your shoulders feel like rads right now, super soft. It's coming to one more stretch to wrap it up. Go ahead and take the arms out and then wrap left arm under and twist so that your palms come towards each other. Inhale, lift the arms up. And exhale, place the shoulders on the elbows on the floor and let your hips drag back. And you can rest your face on your arms. And slowly release. And now right arm under and wrap. Inhale, lift, 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 lift. And exhale, place the elbows down and sit your hips back, rest your face. Let it nestle into your arms. Release. cross your hands, your arms in front of your chest, hands to each shoulder, and place your elbows on the floor and sit your hips back, resting your chin on the top wrist. Can you either let your knees come wide and bring your hips down, or keep your hips up? And switch the other wrist on top. I'll show it in this direction. Chin resting on top of the wrist, hips back. And last one, coming to lay on your belly. And cross your arms. So now my right arm is on top. And walk your hands as far apart as possible. And then let your chin rest on the top of the arm and breathe here. Now switch the other arm on top and really reach the arms far away. And release. Roll onto your back. And enjoy your shoulders. You can roll around a little bit. All right, friends. Hope you enjoyed that shoulder mobility workout. I'm ready to go and enjoy the rest of the day. Hope you guys feel a lot of relief in your shoulders. This definitely helps if you have been feeling a lot of tension up here in the traps, in the shoulders, and in the upper mid back. All right, thank you so much for following. And I will see you again soon. Ciao, ciao. Take care.